Oh, welcome back. We're here in the Built on Solid Rock podcast. I'm John Chisholm. This is my compadre, Sean Bowen. Sean, how's it going today, man?
Oh, it's going great, man. Don't quite have to replace the air conditioning unit, but it's going to be the hundreds next week.
Hundreds next week.
And I just found out there's a pretty significant fix that has to happen.
Okay.
So I got that going. I got that going for me,
Which is nice.
which is nice.
Right. Hey, it's all right. I have a question for you. Why do great employees leave their companies? Why in the world do employees just finally just say, you know what, I'm going to leave. I'm out the door.
Well, there's a whole host of reasons, and obviously in our field of work, we hear them all the time. I mean, it could be something as simple as my wife and I are moving back to be closer to our aging parents, or it could be there's been unkept promises. It could be we just got a new leader and the culture is toxic. I mean, it could be I'm underpaid, didn't get my bonus when it was promised. I mean, there's a whole host of them, right? I mean, we have this. It's called the CLAMPS model. So CLAMPS is an acronym. So challenge, location, advancement, money, people, security. Those are the reasons that someone's always going to fit into one of those categories of why they actually make a change.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, at the bottom line, though, I mean, and we talk about this all the time. Like you said, it's a big deal. The bottom line is that how in the world can you keep your good employees? What is the best methodology looking over the whole thing? How do companies keep their best employees?
Well, I don't think there's one specific answer. I know this because I just have to look at myself and to say, like, what do I want?
Right.
First and foremost, I want to be paid well.
Okay.
I want to be paid well.
That's compensation.
Yep. Yeah, comp. Yep, money. I want to be treated well.
Mm-hmm.
I want a fun place to work. I want flexibility. I think that's, especially in this generation, like people want flexibility. They want companies to trust them if they're doing their job. If you're not doing your job, then you haven't deserved to gain any trust yet. And I think, like we see it all the time, man. And we've lost out on deals. Like, no, our office hours are from 7 to 4 every day, and that's fine. That's great. Some companies are like, I need to leave at 3:30 so I can go to my kid's soccer game at 5.
Right.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that the biggest thing is the big C is culture.
Yeah.
The big C is culture for sure. I mean, we talk about culture all the time. We talk about it at length, but people really don't quit companies. They quit cultures.
Yeah.
They quit.
You could have a culture of not paying people well.
Well, that's part of culture,
Yeah,
right?
right.
I mean, that's a big part of culture. You don't pay people what they're worth. You know, if a company is out there and they're willing to pay 20% above market because of a need, because they're over a barrel, you have to be willing to protect that. And the reality is that we also talk about counteroffers. Well, if you have to come to the table after a company has offered you 20% more, then all of a sudden your company is able to come up with that 20%. You have to ask yourself that question:
why do I have to threaten to leave in order to get a raise?
In order to get a raise, right? Why do I have to threaten to leave in order for you to make the changes that we've been talking about for years? And how can I trust that these things are actually going to happen? But we want to help companies. We want to help leaders in companies retain their. It might seem counterintuitive, but we want to help them retain their best employees.
It's not counterintuitive with our companies, because when we partner with a company, I look at our service and what we bring to the table is that we're a value-added partner. It's no different than their accounting firm, than their payroll firm, than their attorney. They want to work. We are a value-added partner to what they do. I mean, we have plenty of those, right? We have good attorneys, we have good payroll, we have vendors, and so with our companies that we decide to partner with, we want the best for them. That's the truth. We want the best for them. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. But we want to make sure that they're doing everything they possibly can. And a lot of times, especially the companies we've been working with for a while, we consult with them. Not even necessarily in people we place there, but like, hey, this is a situation that's going on. We're looking at going to this market. What do well, we can help you do that. Right. We can be of assistance. And so it's not counterintuitive.
Right. Well, and I think Here's the thing: when someone updates their resume,
Yep.
or someone turns in their 2 week notice, they've already left the company emotionally, right? We talk to people all the time about that. It's like when you make that decision in your mind to go, it's almost impossible to stay. I mean, I go back to when we left the former company whose name we do not speak.
Yep.
We both had won the award to go to Mexico, and we talked about it. You know, it's like, man, it's going to be kind of a bummer to hang up on that award. But by the time that we made that decision, we really made that decision. There was nothing else we could do.
I couldn't sleep knowing that I don't want to be at the place anymore. Right? It became a moral conflict.
It really
You know what I mean?
It really does.
You know, and I look at this as like, you know, like we are rescuers. Like I want to rescue the good employees who are not being treated well, who are not being paid well, and I want to rescue the good companies that are truly having a tough time finding good people.
Right. Well, I mean, but if we can help them retain their current employees, we can also help them. In my mind, the best advertisement for a company, the best advertisement for culture is the employees.
Yes.
This is why I say to people when they come here to interview, I say, after you're done interviewing here, we haven't prepped anybody, we haven't prompted anybody. Walk out and talk to anybody.
Yeah, we don't tell people to put good reviews on our Google page.
Nope. Or on our ZipRecruiter page or Glassdoor, right? No, but if you we say walk out of here. As long as somebody's not on the phone talking, just go in and have a conversation with them.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the thing, and we know that. Right? From working with companies, like a lot of our companies that we work with, it's not just the decision makers who are interviewing. The companies that are good at interviewing, that have a good culture, because they realize, like the owners of those companies realize, like it's more than just me who makes this thing go.
Right.
So if John Doe is going to come work here and he's going to work with Jane, whatever, like I want to go, and you think about this, you go into an interview and you only meet with the decision makers and you have no other, smorgasbord.
And they love their company because they're building the company.
Dude.
They're passionate about it. They want to talk about it.
Right.
It's like, when you pick up the phone and talk to a business owner, it's like they talk about them, talk about their company.
Yeah, every
like they
company's
talk about
the best
their
company.
Wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they don't really like their wife, then whatever. But they talk.
She's the best cook ever.
Yeah,
it's like no, she's not.
She makes the best chili ever, even though it's ham and bean soup, right? I mean, that's
he's going back in time. There's some he's throwing some.
I'm throwing some stuff in.
He's throwing some stuff in there. I don't like it.
That's right. But I mean, reflect back to when we left. What's going through a mind of a person that's thinking about resigning, that's thinking about leaving? What's the biggest misconception that leaders have? What's the biggest warning signs in your mind that a person's conceptually thinking about walking out the door?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think like when you see people disengaged from the culture, that's number one. Like, and that doesn't mean that they're like ready to walk out the door, but like, and like, by the way, like, do you want somebody working for you who is disengaged from the culture?
No. A couple of years ago, they were talking about quiet quitting. They're just doing enough so that they don't get noticed, but they're not doing enough to really be doing a good job, and they're completely disengaged from everything that's going on. You don't want that. You don't want that as a business owner. But how do you really do have to be involved. You really do have to have eyes on the situation, whether it be yourself or whether it be a trusted leader, whatever, that has eyes on that situation. So how can you tell when someone's becoming disengaged?
Yeah, you can just see it sometimes, right? Sometimes you can't see it, but I think we've been around this long enough to where you can just start to see some of those warning signs. So disengage, I don't know. It's different for every company. It's different. It really is different for how every company is. But I also think like actually like sitting down and talking with people, desk side, how are things going?
Right.
So yeah, there's probably many different ways.
You even talk about we've talked about in the past, knowing their why, even knowing every single person, why are they working here? Why did they choose to come here to work here at Solid Rock Recruiting, but also at your own company, having that relationship, or at least having management leadership have that relationship with the people that they're directly working with is really extremely important. I think that more than being disengaged, I also think on the opposite, on the positive side, is making people feel valued.
Yeah. In terms of retaining them, right?
Right.
Hey, give them a high five. Great job.
Right.
Or constructive criticism.
Yeah. Not way to do your job, but hey, way to do your job. Yeah. But construct.
We never do that, do we?
If you have
oh, you made a placement. Good job. Go do another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Tongue in cheek, of course.
But constructive criticism is a great point, because that means that you really truly care. How can I, or even asking the question, how can I help you do better?
Yeah. What do you need help with?
Yes.
What's going on? Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And so like those are things like I think some of those things come natural to us to an extent, but also like in our game of recruiting, like I also will, I hate to use the word disengage because I've used that in a negative way, but like when I get a new person in and they have a pretty like robust understanding of what they're getting into. Cause like we don't sweet talk people to come here.
Nope. In fact,
like,
we try to talk people out of it.
We try and talk and we're just honest with them. Right. Yeah. And so in my, like, I've got this thing and it is like for like 2 weeks, like it's going to be hardcore. Like I'm going to be there. I'm going to be kind of holding your hand at times, but then like, I kind of like will separate for a period of time to see like, is this person going to show up early? Are they going to start planning? Are they going to start preparing? Cause like at some point in time, they have to learn how to walk. Right.
Yep.
And I just go back to like, those are the recruiters that usually succeed, where we're not holding their hand really anymore. We might be putting, have our arms up to make sure they don't fall down the stairs. But I think, our world is just a lot different, I think, than a lot of other, because it is because we are capitalistic, and what you get out of this is truly what you put into it. And it's such a great thing, because it's like, if I have to come there and give you a high five and a fist bump every single day, and I always have to be concerned or always wondering, how are you doing? It's like, first and foremost, dude, like we're not like this, like that's not how we roll, man. Like we are all independent operators. We're all independent. We all work together as a team, and we have that culture. Like you just have to kind of go out there and figure it out. Now we're going to give you guidance. We're going to give you the plan. We're going to tell you when you mess up, we're going to let you know, but we're going to let you mess up. But so I'm kind of ranting a little bit on that, but
I mean, what in your observation working with different companies, I mean, we talk to great leaders all the time.
Yep.
I mean, we do. We talk to great leaders of companies all the time. What do you think that they do consistently differently from other companies that have a struggle in retaining good talent? Because you know, and I know we have great, what we call fishing ponds that we're able, we know that it's a hornet's nest over here. The great leaders don't do, but what is it about, when we go into the companies and we do a deep dive into the company and the culture of the company, we ask them those questions. We say, how long have you been there? What has kept you there for so long?
What's your average tenure?
Yeah. What's your average tenure?
Yep.
What kind of things, what set you apart from, a drywall company? A drywall company is a drywall company is a drywall company.
Yep.
What sets you apart from other drywall companies? Why would somebody think that this is a better opportunity than what it is, than what they have right now? So what in your observation do good leaders do differently?
It's 2 words, man. And there's one common theme amongst the companies of our clients that we've worked with for over 5 years that do really well. And it's 2 words. Can you guess them?
I can't.
Pizza parties.
Oh yeah, right.
It's the pizza parties.
Well, okay, just the pizza parties?
Yeah, no, I'm being facetious, obviously. I mean, I think it's companies like leaders that are truly engaged and actually care about their people, right? Like that actually care about the well-being of their people. They have, example, like they actually have core values that they live out. These are things like, even like a guy who maybe could make money somewhere else, a little bit more money, is like, you know what? Like we have such a tight knit group. The leaders are amazing. I have the flexibility. We're all rowing in the same direction. The culture is amazing. So like we run across that all the time. Like, dude, I know I could go somewhere and make more money, but you know what? Like I love it here for those reasons. Right. So it really does boil down to culture, right? The culture is like, is like the umbrella under a lot of other stuff.
It's what you talk
So
about.
so there's not like one thing. I mean,
Right.
the pizza parties help though.
Yeah, pizza parties are great.
Oh, we do Breakfast Club here
yeah,
now
we
too.
do the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, Breakfast Club. You guys should come to our Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yeah, and hey, next time that we do a podcast, I mean, we're on 12. We got to get to at least 20 because then we'd be 90% of the 8% if we get past 20.
Yeah.
And maybe on the 20th podcast, we'll do Breakfast Club. We'll feed you guys, and then you'll be videoing while you're eating.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, we'll do.
I think we
Breakfast
should
Club.
do that. Yeah, that's really why people want to be here though, is because of the Breakfast Club.
Well, the Breakfast Club, the pork burnt ends.
Yeah.
I mean,
All the stuff,
just
all the stuff,
all the stuff, right? But it's more than that too. I think that you kind of touched on it a little bit. It's not just the people. You know, we have on purpose built a really, really good culture from the bottom up, not from the top down.
Yep.
But the leaders, what good leaders do differently is they act in consistency to what they expect of everybody else. I don't expect people to be here when I'm not to be here if I'm not going to be here. If I'm not putting in the work, I don't expect them, what are they going to, they're going to follow my example, right? They're going to follow your example. They're going to do that. And we have to, not necessarily lead by doing, although that's what we do here, right? But when the leadership acts in hypocrisy, I once heard about a company that did not give anybody else bonuses, any bonuses that year, and they said because we're just really, really behind. But the following week, he showed up in a brand new sports car.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that leaders don't take risks and that they don't deserve to have some benefits off of those risks, right? But what it does say is that if you promise somebody something and you say you can't do it for a certain reason and you show up and you've got that brand new sports car, you're acting in hypocrisy. You're not acting in alignment with your values. If you say your employees are number one and they're first and you don't act in that consistent with those values, you're going to be in huge, big trouble, and people are going to figure it out. Kind of reminds me of the show Goodfellas. If you watch Goodfellas, you remember Goodfellas?
Oh yeah,
there was that
absolutely.
big heist that went on at the airport, and true story. And they said, don't go out and buy anything. Guy shows up, his wife's got a brand new mink coat, brand new, and they're saying, they're just, and then the other guy shows up and he drives up in a brand new Cadillac, so obviously they're flaunting that money.
There won't
around.
be signs, but there are signs.
Right? Yeah, right.
And I think that brings up a good point. Like, I think that people want to work with leaders. They want to, like, this gets back to like retaining good people. Is like, if you and I are just locked up in our office all day and not in those trenches. And like, there's like this like big thing going on. Like you see it on the internet is like, oh, you don't have true freedom until you don't have to show up to work and do crap. I hate that. You know what I'm saying? Like you see those like, and I get where they're going. Like really, where like those things are going is like, you're not trusting anybody to take on other responsibilities. And like, you don't have true leader. You're not a true business owner until you're not doing, it's like, you know what? Like, that's not how I play ball. That's not how I grew up working at the lumberyard. The owners, my dad and my uncle, they were in the trenches grinding every day. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And they had other guys estimating, other guys doing stuff. But like, I think that also like employees want to see their leaders in the trenches.
Right.
Now, in the trenches might be a little bit different than what they're doing, but they're still there.
Right.
Right. And I know that like for me, I don't want to work for anybody if the owners are not engaged. And they're just showing up on meetings all day, and they're just enjoying whatever.
There's a certain borderline, a certain thing you have to go with here is that yes, leaders, business owners have certain things that they have to do on a daily basis that's different than what the employees are doing.
Yes.
We sort of like Steve Jobs, he hired his employees at Apple for the purpose of they could do things that he could not possibly do. Right.
Yep.
But what he's doing is he's providing vision and direction for the company, and they align and they do not act hypocritically in opposition to what they tell somebody else that they have to do. So like, I hate it when there is rules for thee and not for me.
Yep.
Right. I hate when a politician
Do as I say, not as I do.
Right. I hate when a politician, I hate, like the biggest thing during COVID, Nancy Pelosi says, we're shutting down all the hair salons. And even when you open up the hair salon, you got to be in there with a mask. And there she is traipsing around without a mask.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
She's getting her big,
Well, Governor Newsom, what's that restaurant he went to?
Yeah, the French Laundry.
The French Laundry, yeah.
Yeah.
They close down all the food places, and
Greasy
he's at
Gavin.
Newsom, and he's out there eating. But really, like and this happens on both sides of the aisles in different contexts. But
hypocrisy just drives a wedge between people.
It absolutely does.
So it's a culture destroyer, and people won't stay inside of a culture where they're being led hypocritically. That is for sure. So let me ask you this question: what makes someone excited to come to work? I mean, what makes you excited to come to work?
I get to work with all these crazy recruiters, man. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the people I work with, and hopefully they love me, but they love me. It's kind of like I'm not their friend, right? I don't get invited to all the, this as the owner, you don't get invited to all the stuff, and I'm cool with that. Like there's and there should be a line there, right? Like there should be a line there. But what makes me excited, I love the people I work with.
Right.
And it's fun, and we're being productive, and we're building something and producing for our families. And I think that everybody kind of has that sense. Not all of them are there mentally. They haven't mentally ascended really to that point yet. But, it's just like, there's no place I'd rather be almost during my workday. During my workday, there's I would rather be doing this than doing anything else.
Right. I drive from the other end of Sioux Falls to be here every day. Could I lead it from my office? Not very well.
Oh, and I wouldn't let you.
Not very well. I mean, but
because leadership keep people accountable. That's the other.
Well, right. Leadership keeps each other accountable.
Exactly.
That's for sure. I mean, how about? I think it's huge. I think it's huge that we talk about.
It's huge. Yeah.
I think it's huge that we talk about purpose, the why, right? What is in your mind? How do you build that purpose? How do you build that as far as the purpose of the company? You have a personal why I work here, right? To make money because I like money. You can buy things with money. That's not enough, right? What about a purpose? How do you develop that? How do you develop that?
Yeah,
purpose?
I mean, it's that's like a hard question, because there's answers, but I'll keep it basic.
It's my job to ask hard questions.
Yeah, I know that. Good. Yeah, good thing you're not like a CNN reporter or something, or you know what I mean.
I'd have to hang myself.
For me, there's many different purposes, but I want to set people free from, I call it the corporate BS. There's ways out there to produce, to live a really flexible, cool lifestyle, to have your wife stay at home or your husband stay at home, whatever the setup is, to bring your kids places. And I think that this trade in our company that's where I want to go. I want to see people do exceptionally well to produce for their families. And I know if I show them the way, in that context, if I show them the way and get them, and it's a win-win-win. It's a win for the company. It's a win for them. It's a win for everybody, for the community. So, I think that's, yeah, I mean, I can answer that question 10 different ways, but my first mission is to get them producing. That's my purpose. Cause I know that when a human being is productive and they can be they're when they're a productive member of society, they're productive in the household, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing in terms of, I've got 4 kids, wife stays at home. I live the American dream. I'm literally living the American dream. 100%. That is the American dream.
We've talked about it before. Creating things is something that God has put inside each and every one of us. Whether we acknowledge God or not, He's put that in our nature is to create and to be creative and to be active and in the middle of our purpose. Okay, our God-given purpose, and that really is what gets me excited about getting up out of bed every morning, and it's the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
It's the
I want
it-
guys like
they're-
we're gonna be hanging a deal. Like I want guys to like go home and we've got women that work for us too. Same thing, but I'm just gonna say guys because that's who we have in the office. Like I want them to go home and bring their wife a $15,000 check.
right.
Like, hey, sweetie, look it. You know, like that to me is more exciting than what I could produce on my own.
Right.
Like that to me is way more exciting seeing people buy houses, start a family, get married, have kids, and we're playing a role in that by giving them the runway, right? The runway to do it. Like that is like, that's what keeps me coming back.
I mean, that's why 7 years ago we said we're going to be partners in this whole thing. This whole thing, even at the old company, we were partners because it was more fun doing deals together than it was doing them apart. And plus, there's certain strengths that I have that you don't have, and certain strengths that you have that I don't have, and it just seemed to work together. Which is why I'm glad you're my work wife.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Well, see, anytime somebody says that, you already know who the wife is. You know, if they have to like call that out.
You know, they talk about gender fluidity.
So I'll give
gender fluidity.
Yeah.
I think some days you're the wife and other days I'm the
wife. So like John calls me up a couple days ago and he's like, so what should I do today? That tells you everything you need to know.
Right.
That tells you everything you need to know right there.
Yep. So, I
wear pants more than you.
Right. Well, I'm sure.
You got
sure
the
you do.
chicken legs hanging out most days, even in the winter.
Right. So what small things in your mind create loyalty in a company or to a company?
Dude, I mean, to me, it's very simple. Like I know human nature. And there's good parts of human nature, and there's bad parts of human nature,
Wicked
right?
Parts of human nature.
So, but like, I want, like, I think that there's a direct correlation. I don't want to make it all about money, but it's the elephant in the room. It's the elephant in the room, okay? Like, I want to be able to pay people really, really well.
Right.
Okay? Because I know that, yes, I'm doing work. Yes, there's a lot of things that you and I are doing, but you and I both know that the paycheck you get is a reflection in this world, in the world of recruiting, because of the nature of it. It's commission, okay? At least at our company. Some companies are not. Or it's really, really freaking bad commission. And if you're getting bad commission, give us a call. Only if you're good, though. But I think I remember your question, but I'm going to go, like, I want people to be paid what they're worth. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want people to be paid what they're worth, because I know how hard this is, and you and I both know they're the ones doing the grinding a lot.
Let's talk about. I asked the question about building loyalty.
That's one way of building loyalty.
Absolutely.
If I'm paying them better than anybody else,
well,
that's one way to keep someone loyal.
The very fact that you're paying them on time, that you're not ever going to try to steal from them, that would be acting hypocritically. In other words, if they earn something, you pay them what they earned. And if there's ever a question about that, you show them that you pay them what they earned. That's how you create loyalty, is by not acting in hypocrisy. So this is kind of like the last question. It's in two parts. What's one thing companies should stop doing immediately in terms of their employees, and one thing every leader should start doing immediately? So stop and start.
So what's one thing a leader should start?
One thing companies should stop doing immediately to retain employees.
Wow, I don't know. Stop being a jerk.
Right. What's a jerk? Define a jerk.
I mean, stop being a hypocrite. Stop being somebody who's micromanaging. Stop being somebody who doesn't trust, because that's really where micromanagement and fear is associated with that.
Fear, yep.
And start giving people the freedom and I talk about this. Like, I look at recruiting. I don't care if it's from like our emails or text messages, the way we communicate. To me, it's a very creative industry. And like, that's one thing I'm trying, as you know.
Yep.
You've heard me talk about this the last 3 days with some of the things that we're coming across. And I'm going to add on to that. But I look at this job as a unique opportunity to be extremely creative. So it's challenging people to think outside the box. And the other thing is this, being a leader, like if something's not working, then you and I, but we're talking about me right now, then it's up to me to fix that at all costs. At all costs. Like if something is broken or it's not working efficiently, then take action, because
it's affecting our recruiters.
That's right. It's affecting our recruiters. So if the recruiters are like, hey, this Like, this is not working, whatever that is. And I'm like, well, in my mind, I need to fix that because I've been that person.
Right.
I've been that person. I'm like, this is a broken process. It's pissing me off. Why do I have to do the invoicing? Why do I have to do all the data? Why do I have to sit here? Like, I'm not good at negotiating. Why do I have to do it? It's like, well, you know, like, let's fix that. We're going to train you better, but right now I'm going to handle this for you. Right. So stop being a jerk, stop being a hypocrite, stop micromanaging, and start allowing them to be creative and having freedom and flexibility and letting them figure it out. Let them figure it out.
And don't forget to reward them for doing a really, really good job, for bringing value to the company. I mean, words are huge. The way that we talk to people is huge. The way that we express appreciation is huge.
Yes.
And it's all part of that whole big picture that you have to be able to be. I love how you said it. Don't be a jerk. Be a human being.
Right, dude.
It's like we tell our guys when they're talking to companies. These company owners, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do, right? Yep. And the question came to me the other day. Why do golfers always bring 2 pairs of socks to the golf course?
I don't know.
In case they get a hole in one.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's it, guys. This has been a great podcast.
We're a little rusty, but we're coming back.
You know, hey, we got through 10, 11, and 12. What percentage are we at, producer? Out of everybody?
He's a director and producer.
What's that? Top 7% now.
I heard 70. Yeah, it's top 7.
Top 7% at this point. So
very good.
That's pretty good. We thank you very much for listening. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our moms, obviously.
Yep. And our dads. It takes 2 to. I told my wife that it takes 2 to tango.
It does.
It's not just my fault. Okay.
I don't
we
know.
We might have to edit that one.
Anyway, so yeah, it does take 2 to tango. But anyway, we wouldn't be here without our moms because they are the viewers of our podcast, and they're
Thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. And we'll see you next time here on the Built on Solid.
That'll
Rock
be
podcast.
during the Breakfast Club, and it's going to be a party.
It's going to be a party. We'll see you then.